Hello, Guardians, and welcome to Destiny Reset episode 206. This show is about anything and everything related to the Destiny franchise. If you love playing Destiny 2 as much as we do, you're in the right place. This reset, we welcome special guest AER0KNIGHT to the show to talk about what makes Destiny so unique, deliver news about the upcoming Shadowkeep expansion, and talk about what works and what doesn't in Destiny 2 PvP. Hello, Guardians, and welcome. It's CyborgSasquatch, and I have a special guest this week. Welcome to the show, ArrrowCast. How you doing, Alec?
I'm doing well. Thanks for having me. Appreciate it.
I'm glad I have you this week because I don't have an Arrow Knight.
Different arrow
this week. Yep, different arrows. I brought an arrow, just not the usual one.
It's all right. There could be more than one.
You'll do in a pinch.
I'll do my best.
ArrrowCast is a friend of mine, friend of the show, community member, and also newly fellow podcaster in a way.
That's right. I'm new to the mic. I think the Mike and I have been friends for a while. I've been screaming, raid callouts and crucible ragings and ramblings, if you will, into the mic for a while, but hitting that record button before screaming into the mic. I promise I won't scream. Is a new thing to me.
Well, for those who don't know about you, why don't we do a little introduction? Tell us a little bit about yourself.
Oh man, like you said, longtime community member, the Destiny community, the Derp community. I've been doing some streaming, not as much recently, but I'm looking to get back into that soon. New member of the podcasting community. I've been working with Danfinity, I believe a friend of the show as well, on a new project called Destiny Digest, which will be a daily Destiny show, which is kind of cool. The pitch is 5 minutes while you're taking your shower or you're brewing your coffee or, getting ready to jump on for an evening round of Crucible or raids or strikes or what have you. You listen to 5 minutes of audio of Danfinity or myself talking about what's going on in the Destiny universe. So that's what I've been doing recently.
I like it. I've caught a couple episodes, if you will, recently, and I enjoyed them.
Yeah, I think it's a neat idea. It's like that little five-minute snippet to get caught up in everything that's going on. I think it'll be cool. We're just getting started, though, so bear with the pardon our dust, I think, as Bungie says.
So Destiny Digest, where can people listen to this?
Well, you can find us on Twitter, which is probably the best kind of hub for finding all the episodes, because it's all on Libsyn right now. Yeah. Danfinity is handling all that kind of stuff, but the Twitter handle is Destiny_Digest. That's the best place to find us, keep up with the news, and if you follow and hit that notification button, you'll get a notification when new episodes go live.
Yeah, shout out to Dan. If you've ever listened to his show, SideQuest, it's awesome.
Good guy.
SideQuest
Great guy.
Sunday. Yeah, fantastic guy. Tell us about how you ended up playing Destiny.
Oh, man. I saw a Twitter post today where someone asked the question, what was the first game that you stayed up all night, like until the sun rose, playing? And I was thinking about that, and I think it was Halo. I think it was Halo 2. Staying up late with friends, multiple TV set up, just shooting each other in the face.
Yeah.
Those were some of, my first moments where I was just completely enthralled with a video game. I think there were moments before that, PS1 games and Nintendo games that drew me in, but Halo had this certain kind of charm while being this at the time brutal shooter that just completely drew me in. I was always a PlayStation kid, so funny enough, I never owned Halo. I just would go to my friend's house and play Halo all the way through Halo Reach. And then when this thing called Destiny started to get talked about, remember that first E3, that E3 demo? I'm sure guests have talked about it a million times on the show.
Oh yeah.
You know, picking up the Thunderlord and everything. I was like, oh my gosh, this is it, space magic. I'm a big fantasy nerd, so like taking that love for what made Halo, there's like amazing worlds and like sci-fi design, and then take the magic of fantasy and like those D&D threads and like goblins. Like when I first saw, you know, one of the enemies was named a goblin during the alpha, I was like, oh my gosh, this is amazing. Yeah, so that's how I started playing. Was the alpha, and then the beta. I was definitely bought in from the beginning.
Yeah, that combination of space and fantasy is so cool and unique to Destiny. And that's, I think, what touched the nerd part of me.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, just that feeling of like
space elves.
Yeah, all of that. And the mystery too is, you know, on the lore side, you know, there's a lot that some would say was left to be desired in Destiny 1 that maybe caused the overcorrection in Destiny 2 of getting rid of the Grimoire and everything. But something about when I started to tap into that during the first year of Destiny 1 and realized like, oh my gosh, there's all this like lore, and so much of it is like written in these cryptic ways, you know, through poems or through like strange lines of like computer text. There's so much like mystery there that I think very much comes from the fantasy side of things, of like discovering an old tome, that drew me into the world itself. But then of course, like quickly my friends started to get into it. I remember like the first time I heard of a friend playing it, I had been playing Destiny for a month, and I went to this concert. My friend leaned over, he's like, hey, have you heard this game called Destiny? I just picked it up today just because it looked kind of cool. And it's made by the guys who made Halo. And I was like, yes, I've heard of it. Are you joining me?
There's like a special feeling when you realize or someone mentions Destiny to you if you're a Destiny player.
Yeah.
And it's like, you have no idea. You know? Like,
yeah, especially when they're first getting started. Yeah, I had that experience a couple months ago when I met someone and they were like, yeah, I play games. I'm like, what do you play? And they're like, you know, I just recently played this game called Destiny 2. Have you played it? And he must have seen my eyes like grow 3 times in size. I'm like, join my addiction.
Yeah.
Yeah. But community is what drove, you know, like pulled me into Destiny, you know, fully, you know, all those years back. And I just remember like House of Wolves, like gathering around, like just like Halo days, except we each had our own, you know, console, and we were like waiting till it came out at like 3 a.m. and Taken King, all of those experiences, like incredible. And what make those experiences now memorable, you know, the game is amazing, but it's the people who are sitting next to me, you know. So yeah, that's how I got started in Destiny.
So how did you end up in the Derp fam?
I ended up in the Derp fam. So about 3 years ago, I moved away from my hometown to where my now wife lives. And that was awesome because marriage is a cool thing, and I was excited to get married, and I love her, and she's the best. But she's not a gamer, and those first few months of living in a new city with no friends, away from my friends, like I said, that we would like gather and play Destiny together, were super lonely. And my friends back home had kind of like moved on with things going on in their lives. You know, months passed, and eventually I found myself sitting in front of Destiny once again after taking a long break and being like, man, I miss playing this game. And I was playing it alone, solo for a while. And I don't know, I think it just kind of clicked for me that like what I missed about Destiny was very much the game, but it was playing it with people that I cared about, you know, like having people that I would meet up with. I was like, I don't know where I'm going to find those kinds of people. It's like, but maybe I'll get that experience from like listening to a podcast about it. And like I feel like finding a podcast about a nerdy obsession is like the like ultimate ascension in my mind of like I've
yeah.
exhausted all other routes of like consuming content about this. So now like on my way to work and back, I now want to listen
So
to
do you
people
ever
talk about it.
experience like you go see a really good sci-fi or like Marvel movie or something, and you immediately, so you're going to talk to your friends about it when you leave, but then you get in the car and you're on the ride home and you're like, oh, I just want to like discuss it. I want to like talk. I want to hear people talk. Immediately, I always like go find articles and like try to find videos, podcasts, anything. I just want to hear people talk about it.
Oh yeah, I'm absolutely that way, especially with movies. Like, oh my gosh, that's why every time I schedule to go see a movie with friends, I'm like, we're getting dinner afterward. I don't care how hungry we are going into the movie. We're getting dinner after, so we can. So at least I like my friends. My friends actually really love to discuss movies as well. But like, I want to be able to talk about it. But yeah, absolutely. There are times like I'll get home after dinner and like be like, okay, I'm going to YouTube. I got to find out what this person thought. We watched that movie with Natalie Portman the other night, Annihilation. I don't know if you've seen it.
Oh man, we could talk about Annihilation.
It's an amazing, like mind-bending sci-fi movie.
Annihilation by myself in the middle of the night in a hotel room. Bad idea. It's so like it's a horror movie. You don't realize it.
It's pretty spooky.
It's like I don't know how to describe it. It's like Lovecraftian almost a little bit.
Wow. Oh man, yeah, I hadn't thought of it like that, but it is absolutely Lovecraft.
It's like absurd horror. Like it like it messes with your your conception of reality.
Yes, and man, oh my gosh, I've literally got goosebumps on my legs right now because I'm thinking.
I love that movie. Though. We got to talk about this soon.
Yeah, but to relate that back to Destiny a little bit, that's like that movie has that same kind of like effect on you, that it's like, oh, there's so much more going on here, and I want to know more about it after I'm done. Whether after I log out, I'm looking at Bife or Mylan videos, you know. After I'm done watching that movie, I'm like, I've got to find out, what does it mean? You want
to dig into it because there's more than you could get on the first watch, and there's more themes there. Yeah, and that's something that Destiny, like good fiction and good fantasy and sci-fi, I feel like always leaves you wanting for more. Like they always tease a mystery, and it kind of keeps you engaged in wanting to find out like what's the next turn, what's like the biggest payoff I've had as a Destiny player has been finally getting the lore behind the Awoken. And I felt so validated as a nerd about that subject. I was like, yes, it was like finally the answers I've been seeking after 4 years,
And the Awoken, oh my gosh, that does appeal to the fantasy side, like and it's so good. You put it so well. Like good fantasy, it gives you like little breadcrumbs of info and things you've been wondering about, while also teasing like things at the same time that you hadn't even thought about. Like as we learn more about the Awoken and where they come from, we get little snippets of like new things, new names, new terms for things, things about the Nine, or things about the darkness or the collapse that are like, oh my gosh, I hadn't thought of that. Or there's like, it's like, it gives you what you wanted while also continuing to like keep you addicted to searching out the answers. It's so good. So good. Bungie's narrative team and lore teams, I think, are incredible.
I think they're hitting their stride.
Yeah, absolutely. You can see the evolution of the way they tell stories over the course of the last 2 years of Destiny 2 in particular.
Right.
And I guess
we went on a tangent here. Now we were talking about how you got into the Derp fam and you wanted to hear podcasts about Destiny.
Oh, it's true. Yeah. We were talking about that. Yeah. So, sorry, I can tend to ramble and stretch out a story.
I will too.
Yeah, so I started listening to... I looked up Destiny podcasts, and your SEO or whatever is just on point, my man. Because you guys are out there. You know, actually, I think I circled through a couple, and I landed on you guys, and you guys just sounded like my people. I don't know. You guys are just so laid back, and like it was just like a couple guys like just talking about Destiny. I was like, okay, cool. And then when you guys mentioned the Discord, that's when I hopped in there, and I met all the amazing people in this community, and it gave me that feeling, you know, back of like having people who are counting on me to sign in, and like, and you know, as I listened to like your podcast and like interacted with this community, it reminded me during a time where I also was really struggling to figure out, if I can get deep for a second, in a time where I was really struggling to figure out what I wanted to do with my life. You know, like I just gotten married, so there was that huge milestone in my life, and I was like trying to like assess, you know, coming out of college and all of that, like what do I want to do? You know, I have a passion for community. I have this huge addiction / passion for this game and for like the community around this game, and I'm finding that like I really enjoy being an advocate for it. You know, when I talk to other people outside of this community, I feel like I'm pretty good at talking about it and being a spokesperson almost, you know, for these people and for myself and for the games. And so it's really set me off on this journey where, you know, ultimately I'd love to be working in community management for games. It would be amazing to be, you know, down the road working, you know, on the Destiny franchise, but like it's coming into Derp Fam and listening to this podcast and getting back into Destiny really kind of helped me to solidify like what I'm passionate about, you know? And so over the course of the last several years, it's kind of been, you know, a journey with that, and one that I'm still on. But yeah, so I have a lot of ties to Derp Fam and to this podcast, you know, that go pretty deep, probably deeper than you realized before we hit the record button.
Deep roots.
Yeah.
I'm happy you found us.
Me too.
Now, you do a little bit of a few different avenues of content creation. You put your hand in streaming on Twitch. You do you've done some design work, graphic design work, right? And now you're into the spoken words. So tell us about some of those things and what you enjoy.
All of them are ways that I've kind of like exercised that passion that I've been talking about, you know, like wanting to interact with and be somewhat at the forefront of like the community in my like small ways of doing it. So like one of the ways I was doing that was streaming, and I've had to take a break recently, but it's definitely a huge passion of mine. I love doing it. And people can follow me on Twitch at AER0KNIGHT. It's 3 R's and 3 W's with cast at the end. AER0KNIGHT. I was streaming there for a long time, playing Destiny. I love that. It's like this, except you get people like talking back at you.
Yeah.
And just that process of like hosting people in chat, like interacting with each other and joking around. I love that. So it's something that I really desperately want to get back to. And then my design work. Yeah. So I'm a designer by trade. From 9 to 5. But I've recently started to do that for content creators and personalities within the gaming community as well. So if anybody out there is looking for some fresh designs, then I'm your guy.
He's done work for me. He's done some work for Derp you haven't seen yet.
Yeah. I got a few projects that are in the works right now that I'm excited about. But that's something I'd love to grow. You know, I'd love to continue working with people, and I'm in the process of growing that portfolio. So I'm like you may be thinking, oh, I do need some designs. I would love to start streaming, but I don't know that I can really afford something like that. Well, catch me while I'm building out my portfolio for content creators.
Catch me on the up.
I may regret this, but I won't. I'm really looking to help people out as they help me out to create kind of a portfolio of work within the gaming community. So
yeah,
reach out.
It's a great way to grow and get a lot of practice.
Yeah, help each other out. That's what it's all about. So been doing that, and then just recently started with the podcasting stuff. But I consume buckets of podcasts every day, so it only makes sense that this would be the next avenue that we're
literal buckets
of podcasts.
So I'm gonna hit you with the derp lightning round.
Go.
And we're gonna talk some Destiny because that's what this show's supposed to be about.
Yeah, not me,
I guess. All right. You ready? Favorite class in Destiny?
Warlock.
I knew it. Favorite weapon right now? Current.
Favorite weapon right now? Current. Ooh. I love Lumina right now.
Oh, nice choice. I just got Lumina. Just got it.
Really? Just this week?
Yeah, like just this, when was it? Like beginning of this past week? Yeah.
Nice. I love that. That fantasy of helping out and healing your teammates. Sometimes I wish Destiny had that a little bit more. I don't know, like, it's a shooter, right? So you can't give us more health than we have right now. I don't know. I love buffing teammates.
I think the direction they took all the buff abilities and like support classes in Forsaken was amazing.
Yes.
And added so much depth to team play. I know now it probably seems stale because a lot of people use like just the same combinations of stuff.
Sure.
But even things like Banner Shield is becoming like more desirable, and like that was something when it first came out a year ago, like nobody really used.
Yeah.
But now it's almost necessary for certain activities, and people are kind of starting to see like the capabilities you can, like combinations of stuff you can do, and I hope they build on it.
Me too, because I run Well of Radiance all the time. Just I love that feeling of being the one, like when we get to that spot where we do DPS, like I'm the one who rallies us,
right.
And like we wouldn't survive unless this well was up, and like constantly throwing those little grenades. I also love the animation.
Can you even play without well now? I don't know if it's possible.
No, you need a well.
It's really scary without well.
Yeah, it would be cool to see more. Like, I mean,
I managed to get through a tier 3 reckoning with 4 Titans the other day, and I was mega impressed.
Wow,
it was scary. It was really scary, dude.
Were there any bubbles, dude? I think that there's some opportunities. Yeah,
and Banner Shield, hammers.
Okay.
What was the 4th guy?
There's some opportunities.
He
for
was
support.
running hammers, and I was running big hammer.
Nice. Big hammer.
Solar. Big hammer.
You're running that big hammer.
I love that big hammer, dude.
You like to bonk them, huh?
I do. I really do. It's very effective.
I think there's a lot of opportunities for support within Titan. Like, I'd love to see Bubble make a comeback. It's
tough, man, because Bubble just is now just knock off well, and that's not what it should be.
Yeah.
If you could shoot out of it and it could work the same way, it would be perfect. Like, just make it a Bubble Banner Shield,
Yeah.
Then that would be mega, like, popular. Because you could have Titans run Bubble instead of requiring Warlocks to run well.
Yeah. Yeah,
you
exactly.
Have Lunafaction boots, but like in a pinch, it would work when you don't have a Warlock.
Yeah, I guess in my mind, if I was like laying that out, it would be like Warlocks are like buffers and healers, Titans are protectors, and like enhancers, and then like Hunters could be, they mark targets for us. They scout. It would be cool to see like those kind of like support fantasies rise up within the classes, but. Anyway, Lumina is my favorite weapon. Razzle.
Oh Lord. All right. Favorite character in Destiny.
Favorite character in Destiny. Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't think about this ahead of time.
Who just popped in your mind?
You know who popped in my mind is Ikora. I think
must be because she's the Warlock Vanguard.
Yeah. I mean, I just think she's really cool.
She doesn't get a lot of love either.
She doesn't. I've got an Ikora Funko Pop behind me. It's the only Destiny Funko Pop out right now. I rotate them.
Just otherwise do like one at a time.
Yeah, I know that's really nerdy. I realized that.
No, I have all of them on like a shelf, but then I take one statue and put it on my desk.
Yeah, and you probably rotate that around. You're like, let's go with this one.
Well, have you bought any of those? Like what's new? Like right now, I have the little Aldrin Big Shot Toy Works that came out.
Nice. Okay, that's awesome. I was wondering, have they released any of those new like super fancy statues? Like they did one of Aldrin, one of Cade.
I have the Aldrin. The Cade one is not coming out yet. I think it comes out at the end of the year. It was on pre-order and the pre-order time ran out, but you can still pre-order it.
Okay. But
that one's like $350.
Yeah.
It is expensive.
How much was Aldrin? Aldrin was like $300.
He was $270. Yeah, $270, maybe $300. Cade's a little more expensive. Not a lot, but just a little.
Well, that Aldrin statue is
sexy. It's gorgeous.
Yeah,
I'm just looking at him. Cool. He's so cool.
While we're talking about Destiny characters, if I can ask your opinion real quick.
Sure.
Aldrin.
Yeah.
Is he a good guy? Is he a bad guy?
Who cares? He's interesting.
Cool. That's how
I think it's to be determined. Here's what I'll say. All right. This is like a whole thing on Twitter this
I know. I retweeted some piece of artwork and there was like, I looked at my Twitter notifications and it was like 40. There was a full-fledged war going on in the replies on this post.
I think it's great that he's such a polarizing character. Mm-hmm. And I think it's really interesting what they chose to do with him after Forsaken. And this was obviously part of the big plan for his character, but it's a scary thought experiment, right?
Yeah.
Like, what do you do if somebody basically kills your best friend, you murder them in revenge, and then they come back as one of you as a superhero? Like, that's the thought experiment. Like, did he atone for his sins? Is he still bad? Or is he like, does he get a fresh start just like everybody else?
Yeah. And see, if something like this had happened shortly after Destiny 2 Vanilla launched, I would have the thought of like, we're overthinking it. Like, Bungie doesn't mean it like that. It's going to be something very straightforward. But with the kind of lore that we're getting right now, like, they are absolutely, they're going to mess with us, man.
Controversial.
Yeah. I love it. I agree with you. It doesn't matter. I mean, it doesn't matter right now.
No, I mean, it's going to be something that I'm sure will continue to play out over years. My only question is like, how long until we see the next, chapter in his story?
Mm-hmm. Do you think Shadowkeep will have anything to do with it?
I'm going to be really upset if I have to wait longer than Shadowkeep.
I know. Like, what maybe if Shadowkeep comes and goes and they don't mention Aldrin?
Maybe if they did something in the annual pass next year that included him, that would be nice, but we'll see.
We shall see.
Yep. All right. Favorite game besides Destiny right now?
Favorite game besides Breath of the Wild.
You're hooked on that.
Yeah, just recently, like, was sucked into that. Although I will say this weekend, I jumped into Final Fantasy 14 Online.
Interesting.
And, yeah, because I heard a bunch of people talking about it. And I was like, let's just see. Sometimes you just feel like trying something out. And I've never gotten into an MMO in depth. I've tried WoW. I've tried Guild Wars 2. I've tried a few others. Well, I shouldn't say that. Back in the day, I was a big RuneScape boy.
Shaggy.
Ruh-roh. But this game is actually kind of hooking me in. It's pretty good, but definitely Breath of the Wild.
Okay, so you're super Japan heavy right now.
I kind of am, and I'm not a big weeb guy. You know, I don't watch anime. I'm completely fine. Nothing against that stuff. It's just I'm not a big anime guy. All that, but there is some gold in there.
Yeah.
So keeping my horizons wide.
All right, what are your favorite chips?
Does it have to be chips or can it be like a snack?
Nope, chips.
Chips. Salt and vinegar.
All right. Any particular brand?
Just needs to be baked.
Whatever's clever. Baked.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't care what logo's on it. It just needs to be baked.
All right. All right, and then finally, most important, does pineapple belong on the pizza?
It does.
Oh, God.
Especially if there's hot sauce on it.
Oh, God. What are you doing?
Hurting you bad.
I can't kick you off the show because I'd be by myself.
Yeah, you'd be all by yourself, bud.
I made a fatal mistake. All right. Now you know a little bit more about AER0KNIGHT. I'm going to call him Alec for the rest of the show so I don't confuse anyone, because that's his name. All right. We're going to do a quick announcement. First, congrats to the Destiny the Game subreddit over on reddit.com for reaching 1 million subscribers this week. That's a big old number.
That's a big number, man. That's a lot of people. Number. You couldn't fit that many people in a small room or a medium-sized room. You might be able to fit that many people in a big old room.
Not even a big room. That's a lot of people, my dude.
That is a lot of people. Yeah, not a big room. We might have to ditch this whole room idea.
Thinking maybe like a couple stadiums. Maybe like 10 stadiums.
11 stadiums.
Anyways, there's a lot of people, and you know, the DTG subreddit is special to us because that's where me and AER0KNIGHT met.
Really?
Yep, sure was.
What's the story?
He posted something about wanting to make a Destiny podcast, and I answered.
Wow.
And we
Wait, but
friends.
He just put a post out there and was like, "Hey, I want to do a Destiny podcast. Anyone want to co-host?"
You might meet your new co-host, man.
Wow.
It's that simple.
That's really interesting. So I wonder, did he get like a lot of people responding?
Well, he didn't put it like, "Hey, I'm looking for a co-host." He was asking for like feedback about the idea, and I slid in the DMs and was like, "Hey, I've thought about doing this. You know, let me know if like you'd ever want somebody to help or you'd want a guest or something." And he was like, we just got talking and ended up making a show together.
That's awesome. Very cool.
Yeah.
Bringing people together.
Absolutely.
r/DTG.
That's right. So go over there. There's a cool post with some really funny videos made to commemorate the occasion. Go check those out. They're amazing. Second of all, I found a candy bar in my car this morning. I wanted to announce that.
Did you, was it all melty?
It was, yeah.
Did you eat it?
Yeah. It was breakfast.
Did you lick the wrapper?
Should I admit that?
I mean, you only get like a little. I've done this before. I've been here. Okay, we relate. It's okay. We're on the same level right now. When you eat a melted candy bar,
yeah,
what you end up getting is you kind of get the insides mixed with the outsides, and then you kind of.
There was just so much left on the wrapper. I had to clean it off.
I respect that. I respect the resourcefulness.
I don't know why I decided to announce that.
I appreciate you sharing.
I felt like we needed more than one announcement.
Yeah, no, that would have been really bad. If we just had one, the community would have been up in arms.
They would have been enraged.
But now that you put that candy bar bit in there.
Yeah, we're good now.
Golden.
Stay golden, pony boy. All right, you ready for some news?
Yeah.
All right, we're going to talk about some things. First off, this week at Bungie, we make way for the Iron Lord.
Iron Lord.
The Lord of Iron.
Damn.
Yeah,
Iron Banner
so...
already.
Yeah, Iron Banner is back. We say it every time it comes back. We're like, it's back already, and it happens every 4 weeks.
Good point.
Saladin raises banners next week when he returns to the tower on July 23rd. We get increased Valor gains, of course. Now, you'll have your chance to continue your quest if you want the Iron Banner gear. They mentioned they did get feedback on this quest and have some changes lined up, but they did not make it in time for this Iron Banner. Additionally, they are not going to be deploying an update to the Lord of Wolves just yet.
Oof.
You know, they had thrown out that July update for that, but it looks like those things aren't happening. They missed the mock.
That's all right. You know, I miss my mark all the time at work.
Mm-hmm.
Trouble is, there's not, 11 stadiums of people who are mad about it.
It's good. I don't think I could deal with that kind of pressure.
I don't think I could. So we will extend Bungie the grace of our patience. But that is rough, my guy. I don't know that I'll be jumping in there.
I mean, honestly, it hasn't been that. I mean, I haven't seen really anyone utilizing this since, there was like a few days.
On Xbox?
Yeah, Xbox.
Yeah.
Is it bad on PC?
It's a little worse on PC from what I've heard, just comparatively. Okay. People on both sides. I will say I make jokes. I still have been playing Crucible. It's not, and I will be playing Iron Banner. I made jokes. I make jokes, but yeah, it's not awful, but it definitely would have been nice to see it.
Yeah.
Get fixed before, just because I get tired of hearing people complain about it more than anything.
See, that's the biggest problem is I just don't want to hear the grief.
Yeah. Yeah, the grief is so loud, man. People are yeah. What are your feelings on the quest? Did you go for the full set?
I haven't even touched that quest. I haven't played Iron Banner to do anything in like 2 years.
Yeah.
Real talk.
Since Destiny 2, or you weren't into it in Destiny 1?
I think I might have played a little bit, some of the initial ones, but it just doesn't do it for me anymore. Yeah. We talk about it because it happens, and it comes up because there are people that play it, but there has not... I look at what's going on every time, every season, every time they change something, and none of it ever seems very fun.
I think for me, it's the lack of variation from Iron Banner to Iron Banner, even across seasons. I would love to see if the armor changed every season, or if the guns looked any different than the other models in the game. And I know this is kind of small, but remember Rise of Iron, how the guns and the armor all looked so much different than they had throughout all of Destiny 1. I think if they had stuff that looked more like that and changed from season to season, it would make me jump in, because I'm here for the loot. Mm-hmm. But I'm with you. I'll dabble in it. I'll help friends complete their quests, and I did a couple steps of the quest last time. But it's definitely not. When I see it come around, I'm kind of like, oh man.
I think the problem with Iron Banner in Destiny 2 is that it doesn't really have a place in the world anymore. In Destiny 1, especially in the first couple years, it had an important role because there wasn't as much to do as what we have now, even in PvP. And now we have even less to do in PvP, but Iron Banner in D1 was like comp light, you know? And it kind of had its own niche. Now, with real competitive mode, Iron Banner is still comp light, but why play comp light when you have real comp?
Yeah, and if you're not playing comp at all, why would you play?
Exactly. I don't want to dip my toes in this for loot that's not interesting. And
Yeah, and that's why I say, like, I think that the quote-unquote easiest fix, which it's none of this is easy, but, like, I guess, like, the fix I would apply maybe first is to make the loot or the loot chase more interesting, and then take a look at the activity, maybe.
I think it needs a revamp in both the loot, the progression / quest system, and I think it needs its own unique mode.
Yeah, that would be cool.
Something
yeah,
that's
like a capture the flag or something
that would only show up once, every Iron Banner.
Yeah.
As it is, like, I've played Control for 4 years. Like, I can play Control when I go in Quick Play. Why do I need to do it in Iron Banner?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Well, I'll jump in a little bit, and see if I can get more of the quest steps done. Do you know if progress carries over?
Yes, through the season, I believe.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool. Well, then I may jump in there. I've heard that the step with grenade kills is just brutal. So I think when I get to that part, I'll just back out.
Go find a lobby, dude. That's what everybody's doing right now for Mountaintop.
Oh, jeez. Yeah. I don't know, man. I don't know how I feel about all that. I know how I feel about it. I want Mountaintop so bad that I'm considering, losing my faith over it.
I don't really. I mean, Mountaintop's great, but you don't have to have it. I would like to have it, sure, but I don't know. I'm not motivated this season to chase another pinnacle weapon. I'm just trying to get
on a few. Like, I don't have Delirium.
Delirium's fun.
Yeah, so I'm at Mythic 3.
Okay.
Halfway through Mythic 3, and I've got a bunch of those bounties saved up.
Yeah, wait and see if they do an Infamy weekend or something.
Yeah.
That'd be great.
Yeah, I think I'm going to. It is a slog. People talk about how much they dislike Gambit, or at least I shouldn't say people. The people in my immediate vicinity talk about, oh, I hate Gambit. Like, I feel so bad for you. You're grinding through that. I will say, I actually really enjoy Gambit. Like, 8 out of 10 matches. Like, yes, it can be heartbreaking when the other team invades and melts their primeval. I think there are just so many opportunities within a Gambit match to be triggered. But playing Gambit is actually kind of fun to me. Like,
I get that. I enjoy Gambit,
banking moats,
especially if I'm on if I'm with a team, like not going in by myself.
Yeah.
But like you said, there's games and there's moments where you feel like you're just getting reamed,
Yeah.
Like you're climbing, a 15-degree grade uphill, like,
yeah,
you're just like, okay, this stopped being fun. I get that about Gambit.
Yeah, I mean, there's so many opportunities to feel that way. Like when your teammate loses 15 motes, or when the enemy invades and uses like Queen Breakers or something triggering, Actually, it's not Queen Breakers now. It's more Black Armory machine gun that I can't remember the name of.
There's a lot of stuff. There's a lot of stuff you can invade and do work with.
Exactly. But I still enjoy the mode. I think there's a ton of potential there. Anyway, onward with the TWAB.
Oh, yeah. So Iron Banner is going to happen with increased valor. Now, it will be, and I'm curious to see if it works, but hopefully the increased valor will allow you to work on that Hall of Triumphs. Triumph where you need the valor percentage.
Oh, that's a really good point.
So it might be a good week just to play some Iron Banner or just quick play or whatever.
Yeah, get that increased valor.
So I'm at like 40-something% or something. So I've got a bunch more matches to play. The one thing I noticed is that, and I read on Reddit, I believe as well, that it doesn't really take account win streaks. So it's just like a standard, win or loss. Depending on how much gear you're winning, you just get a percentage.
Oh, wow. Okay. Interesting.
Which is poopy.
Yeah. Yep.
But here's an interesting thing that's going to happen. So they talk, the headline here is like Guardian always pays their debts. Great. Shout out there to
Game of Thrones.
Game of Thrones, yep. So there was a glitch with the Tribute Hall where you could do some things if you hadn't completed the initial quest, and like swap between characters, and you could place a free tribute over and over and over. And this would allow you to place enough tributes so that you could unlock some of the things that happen as a course of having, it's like 18 for bad juju and 45, I think, for the catalyst. So they were able to skip that and not have to donate all their materials and do the bounties and stuff. So they're going to be fixing this on July 30th when Solstice of Heroes kick off. And they say, as you all know, it's not our policy to punish players who discover cheeses, loot caves, or workarounds in the game. If you took advantage of the shortcut, you can rest easy. You won't be marched in front of Callus for sentencing. However, you will not be able to keep all of your ill-gotten rewards until you square up things with Callus. So they mention your tributes placed total will reflect individual tributes placed on your accounts. If you use the exploit, the number would be properly updated. And the activation and equipping of both the Bad Juju Catalyst and X Marks the Spot emotes will be gated by your total number of tributes placed. You will be able to use Bad Juju, but if you cheese your way to the Catalyst or emote, you'll have to earn them.
Take that, punks.
I think it's a good compromise. If they took the weapon away, it would feel a little bit like they're punishing people. But just the catalyst and the emote, those aren't too bad.
It's just harsh enough to show like that would maybe stop people who did that in the future from maybe doing it again,
right?
But not so bad that it'll be a community outrage amongst those.
Yeah, you don't want anybody getting all up in arms about losing their bad juju.
Yeah, exactly. But it's actually, I love seeing them do stuff like this. I love to see them, enforcing fair play within their game, because they have the right to do so. So, play straight, guys.
Yep. Keep
play
it
right.
honest. Be honest. Be honest. Over in Destiny Player Support, they've got some clarification on a couple things. This is actually a bit helpful. They mention weapons and armor that contribute to tribute hall triumphs. I don't know why my tongue got twisted on that. They're clarifying which exotic weapons provide bonus progress. So these would be Legend of Acreus, Terabah, and Bad Juju. See, I didn't know Bad Juju would count for this.
I was wondering about that. I was wondering. It was like, it's got that little goblet on it. It's, we got it from the tribute hall, so that's good to know. I hadn't thought about Legend of Acreus, so I may like print out one of those weapons and play around with it. I haven't used it in forever.
Trying to run Acreus when I could.
Really?
Yeah, just for that extra bonus for some of that stuff.
Nice. Have you been using Bad Juju at all? Have you gotten it?
Yeah, I did. And I have been using it. I find I don't care for it in PvP. In PvE, it can be fun, but it's funny because it's a little short on the range.
Yeah, it is.
In my opinion, compared to Outbreak Perfected. Yeah. Yeah. I feel like I got a little spoiled on Outbreak Perfected, and now I'm like, well, that extra super is great, but
yeah, I've been using, so what I'll often run is Well of Radiance, and then I'll equip the Phoenix Protocol chest piece, which gives you super energy for kills and assists made inside of the Well of Radiance.
Right.
That partnered with Bad Juju, and then making sure that I'm constantly throwing out healing grenades, which also give you super energy.
Yeah.
It's like I almost
non-stop.
always have a well. Yeah, and it doesn't jump up like Orpheus Regs used to.
Right.
It's not like that sort of
But
buff.
you can keep it up fast enough, and
yeah, it feels really good. It feels like when I'm playing it, I almost think I've thought multiple times like this feels like what Bungie would intend in a kind of gameplay loop that's centered around super energy, like where I'm having to work for it, and I've equipped things. And I'm using my cooldowns in a specific way to make that happen. And when it works super well. So I enjoy that.
Super well.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, you did that.
I meant it. I meant to do that.
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
They move on in the Destiny player support to talk about moments of triumph. Currently, you can only complete 22 of the 24. The final 2 will become available with the launch of Solstice of Heroes on July 30th. And then you will be able to earn that seal and title.
I wonder if those last 2 will be really beefy.
I don't know.
They'll be big ones.
I'm sure they'll be tied to whatever activity we're going to be doing, right?
What do you think that'll be? Repeat of story missions, or?
I'm thinking something different.
Yeah?
But I don't know.
Different activity altogether?
Mm-hmm.
Ooh.
I don't know. We'll find out.
Although I will say, and maybe it's rose-tinted glasses with how hopeful and exciting that time of Destiny was, but Solstice of Heroes last year was awesome. And
I liked it a lot. It was really fun.
Yeah, I did not mind replaying those story missions. Like,
no.
Remember the one with like millions of servitors?
Oh, yeah. That was so funny.
So cool. And they were all really difficult and like,
yeah.
Gosh. Yeah, it was a special time.
Those were cool. Special. And I think it was just so cool going down to the city.
That was cool. I wish we could have spent more time there.
Oh, I know. I want to go there now.
I want to go everywhere, man.
Yeah, man.
I want to explore.
There are some known issues with Season of Opulence. You can go check that out. There was some strange service stuff going on this week in Destiny.
Yeah.
Lots of errors, matchmaking problems, connection issues. I don't know what's happening.
What's happening, Bungie?
Well, I'm scared.
There's some IT guys just shifting around some servers and things to get ready for Shadowkeep.
I'm just
That's what I tell
imagining,
myself.
Like, in a brightly lit room with like their hair standing up and everybody's just like, I don't know what's going on, and they're just like trying to fix it frantically. That's what I think about when there's server issues.
Is that what you imagine?
That's what
is
I
it like.
It's probably
is
just
it like
one guy
this
with a
scene in
keyboard and he's
SpongeBob
like,
where
"Here's that
SpongeBob
error
is
again."
told to forget everything, and then there's little tiny SpongeBobs in his brain just burning everything and freaking out? Do you remember that episode of SpongeBob?
Uh-huh.
The hit American animation show from Nickelodeon?
Yes, SpongeBob SquarePants.
That's the one.
That one. My kids love this show, and it's hard to explain to them that my wife like grew up on that show.
Mm-hmm.
It's just funny when like they find something old and they just fall in love with it, and you're like, this is interesting. There's all this other stuff, but this is what you want to watch. That's like awesome. My little 2-year-old daughter is singing the SpongeBob SquarePants song. I'm like, this is what you want to watch? Okay, I'm cool with it.
Hey, SpongeBob is awesome.
It's cool, man, but it's weird. SpongeBob is weird, dude.
It is way weird.
It gets really weird on some, like, after the first few seasons, they just totally ran with it,
I love the effect I have on the Destiny Reset podcast show is that this is the first episode you guys talk about SpongeBob.
Pretty much.
This is my legacy, guys.
This is your legacy. But check out those known issues of the Season of Opulence, Destiny services, Bright Dust tributes, etc., in the TWAB if you're interested. Now, movies of the week are a thing, and you should watch them because someone soloed Riven.
Insane. Okay, do you know how this whole Liar's Handshake strat works? Can you explain it to me and for the lovely listeners?
No.
You don't? Okay.
Oh, man.
I'll do research. You'll have to have me back on so I can explain it
All right.
as it gets patched out.
Right.
I think it's key to this.
It is. There's something with the melees.
With the melees.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's pretty wacky. It's insane. I saw Slaridge's video, and then I realized he was second.
Yeah.
But
we can't all be first.
I know, this is insane, man.
We can all be first loser, though. Ouch.
It's a stretch, bud. Love you, but that's a stretch.
Fair enough. It's a little harsh. Yeah, go check out somebody's solo Riven, and then helping a young guardian in competitive.
This was cute.
It was.
I watched it.
Yeah.
It warmed my heart.
It did. So to close it out, Cosmo writes, in the weeks to come, we'll dive into many topics that will require some detailed discussion to help you get ready for what awaits this fall. We know you'll have questions about cross-save, Shadowkeep, new character customization, Season of the Undying, and things we haven't even hinted yet. This summer will be a time to get you ready for another moon launch.
What's the cat picture? It's the comma here.
It's the trailer for Cats.
It's the cats.
Did you watch that, by the way?
Cosmo,
how terrifying.
You sneaky mom. It looks scary, man.
Furries everywhere shivered.
Oh, I did not mean to turn on the audio for that. There you go. Hopefully it didn't come through. Yeah.
It did not.
It is, the music's real pretty.
Yep, they got that going for them, which is nice.
But the music existed before this monstrosity did.
Yeah.
Taylor Swift in there, man.
Yep. Lots of interesting characters. Well, Polygon has some ongoing coverage, it seems, of Shadowkeep. Some interesting little articles this week talking about Shadowkeep. It seems like they did some lengthy interviews, and they're doing a series of articles built on these. They did talk to, so they were talking with Mark Noseworthy and Luke Smith in several of these interviews. And they talk about, they asked, will Shadowkeep have an equivalent to Forsaken's Dreaming City, an in-game only planet for people to explore after the campaign? Noseworthy responded, Forsaken was a huge expansion pack for Destiny 2. In terms of what we're able to build this year, it's much more in scope with a Rise of Iron or Rise of Iron Plus, which I find interesting and encouraging. They mentioned, they asked as well about returning planets from the original Destiny. They did not refute any possibilities, but said there are technical limitations to adding more and more to Destiny 2. The studio has to pick their battles. Noseworthy said, Destiny 2 is a huge game. We mean in terms of the scope of the game, that complexity, but also just the amount of space we take on people's hard drives. He went on to say that Bungie can't really just grow the game infinitely forever.
Yeah.
Of course, that raises questions of how soon could we see Destiny 3 or whatever that might be.
Yeah. Yeah, this is an interesting topic. I heard him talking, Mark Noseworthy and
Luke Smith.
Luke Smith talking with Jason Schreier from Kotaku about this during E3. Yeah, it's really interesting because with these types of games, we'd love to think of them as endlessly expandable. But it's a console game too, and it's a game that doesn't have dedicated servers. It's I think he said that there's like 40 gigs of space that are taken up by just audio files.
Yeah.
So this is really significant, for the growth of the game in the future. I don't know. What are your thoughts on it? Do you think does this worry you at all for the future? What kind of person are you? Are you like really wanting Destiny 3? Are you wanting them to expand Destiny 2?
I think a lot of people want them just to expand with Destiny 2. I think if they're smart, they'll put out another named sequel, but keep the bones of Destiny 2 and not have to, reimagine so much of the core of what the game was. They took a lot of steps between 1 and 2. with like the graphics and the lighting and things like that, that hopefully, the next time around we're not seeing so much change. But it's the question really comes like, what about your achievements, your gear, everything you've earned? Like, that's where people start to really feel it when you, like, say, leave Destiny 2 behind, because it kind of makes you feel like, well, what about all this stuff that I earned, Yeah,
exactly. Yeah.
But Destiny is a monstrosity when you think about the number of objects that it has to track per player.
Huge.
The amount of assets involved in all the different activities and spaces. It's amazing that it even is a game on console as it is.
I know. Yeah, it's wild. I mean, I think that the loot side of, the sequel discussion is definitely a huge one. I think part of me is just like, there's this huge foundation of activities and worlds and places and things to do within Destiny 2 now, that I would love to see it just grow deeper within those things. So if they came out, next year and said, hey, like, adding more worlds to this game is difficult, but we can add more depth to the worlds that exist now, or more strikes or more lost sectors that'll pop up and that kind of stuff, I wouldn't be mad. I mean, there's so many worlds right now, like, I was actually flying around on Io the other day on my Sparrow, and I was like, man, this is such a cool place, and I feel like there's so much real estate here for, like, activities and, like, world bosses or more lost sectors and actually just the evolution of lost sectors as a whole. Anyway, I would just love to see them expand on the depth of it rather than, like, expanding outward. Yeah. Maybe it's a more it's a better way to budget the space that we have left.
There's a ton of space that launched with Destiny 2 proper that I feel is severely underutilized.
Exactly.
Like, at least 2 or 3 of the planets. They have added stuff like the forges, different things like that, adventures and stuff that take place, but like the arcology on Titan is huge and so underutilized, and one of the coolest environments I think that they made for Destiny 2. And we hardly go there.
Yeah, it's one of my favorite places in the whole game. It's just going down there. There's amazing screens with the beautiful artwork. So cool. And
I've been obsessed with arcologies ever since I played SimCity 2000 as a kid. And I learned what an arcology was, and I started to, like, research and read about them. I'm like, this is so cool. And they put one in Destiny 2. I was like, oh my god, this is so amazing.
So for the listeners, what's an arcology?
It's like a self-contained colony. It's the idea is that it powers itself, feeds itself, deals with its own waste, etc., where you can just basically contain populations and live, without external trade or energy.
Yeah.
It's a very sci-fi idea.
It was in SimCity 2000?
It was, yeah. It was like an end game built, like, you could build them, like, when you got to the, like, upper echelons of, like, building a city, you could drop, like in the in-game currency, you could drop, like, 400k and build an arcology and fit, like, 300,000 citizens in it, and it would just take, like, 9 tiles on the map.
Wow, so it's only 1/3 of the Destiny subreddit,
right? So 3 ecologies worth of people follow the subreddit of Destiny the game.
Well, that would bring us to 900,000. Okay, so three arcologies in a stadium.
Whatever. Yeah, there you go. Perfect. They can all share a stadium.
Yeah.
Speaking of environments, another article from Polygon was talking about the moon and where we're going with Shadowkeep. They mention, as a returning destination, the moon has changed and it's evolved. It's over double in size to what it originally was before. So it seems they're really expanding that location. They went on to explain the moon in Shadowkeep is more like the Dreadnought from Taken King than the locations of the Tangled Shore and Dreaming City from Forsaken.
Okay. Interesting.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
What does that mean to you? What does that communicate to you?
Lots of nooks and crannies and things to explore.
Nice. I loved the Dreadnought.
Oh yeah, absolutely. They also mentioned something destroyed the moon's accelerator in Shadowkeep. Do you remember the big, I didn't know if it was I didn't know it was an accelerator, but it felt like a train track that went around the moon.
Oh, yeah.
I think that's what they're talking about.
It's called an accelerator?
Yeah, I guess it was like, I don't know.
Public transit for the lunar folk?
I suppose that's what I always thought it was, but maybe it was something more sophisticated. And then they go on to explain they put great care into making the space feel the same, but also changed. You'll find new content like lost sectors hidden in nearby places you visited 1,000 times. Noseworthy said, you discover your first lost sector in a public space and you're like, was this always there? You get this really interesting set of emotions of seeing something for the second time, but with fresh eyes and discovering how it's evolved and changed.
It sounds awesome.
Yeah, I'm interested for sure. So, last article I saw that was interesting, they talk a little bit about Armor 2.0, which is, I think, a big feature for Shadowkeep. They essentially so they say Armor 2.0 is going to have the energy system, Luke Smith said. You power up the armor to increase its capacity, which lets you equip more mods. It will also double the stats of Destiny 2. Instead of just mobility, resilience, and recovery, you also see the return of intellect, discipline, and strength. They work like they did in the last game and reduce the cooldown of the player's super grenade and melee abilities. Luke Smith also said the team is widening the range of mobility, recovery, and resilience, but said players will need to wait a bit longer to learn exactly what that means.
This is super exciting.
Mm-hmm.
I thought that they were just replacing, mobility, resilience, and recovery with the old stats. But the fact that we're getting a new set of the three is super cool. Definitely appeals to that, like, perfectly kitting out a character for how you want to play it. And if they're expanding those ranges, then it's going to be more significant,
Right.
when you really spec into a particular stat.
Yeah. I'm interested to see how deep this gets. They also give an example of, like, you'll be able to stack mods. Like, they mentioned the example of putting 2 hand cannon reloader mods on gloves.
Yeah.
That seems pretty cool. Like, just like some min-maxing,
Oh, yeah. I'll be doing that. Hand cannon reloaders.
Yeah, that's a great example.
Yeah. Grenade mods, so I can throw those healing grenades constantly.
Yeah, I need melee mods so I can just have my shoulder charge up as fast as humanly possible.
And that little bonky hammer.
Yeah, my bonky hammer.
Yeah, that little, like, kid's toy hammer that you just throw people.
That huge iron hammer that you throw and crush people's skulls with. Is that one that you're talking about? That you pick up and it regens your health. And you get to keep throwing it over and over and over and over.
That's what you Titans think. But it's really just makes little squeakies down like when you hit people with it.
It's funny. I don't think warlocks have anything to throw, do they?
Healing grenades.
That's sad.
Yeah, good luck with that low health bar, bud. Does that hammer heal you when you pick it up?
If you hit something and it kills it, if you pick it up, it heals you. It's a really fun gameplay loop if you can get it going.
That's pretty cool.
It's underutilized.
Is it good in the Crucible?
It can be. If you go look, actually, there was a couple months ago, True Vanguard was playing around with it in the Crucible and put up some pretty cool clips on Twitter.
Yeah, I saw that he was using it. I need to go back and watch those.
You've got to it's not going to one shot. So you've got to, I think he was doing like hand cannon melee. Mm-hmm. So I tried it out and it was fun.
That's cool. I joke around, and I definitely bash the other classes a lot. I have all three, leveled up.
Yeah.
And I actually was playing some Titan last week, and after listening to BW Buttwipe on the Destiny Community podcast, he was talking about sliding over ammo to get that damage buff. I was doing that with my fusion rifles, and it was dirty, my friend.
Pretty
It's
fun.
no small thing. So Titan,
all the classes have really cool little gameplay loops that you could take advantage of.
Yeah, and a lot of hidden gems like that, like the thrown hammer, or like sliding over ammo, or not mainstream meta stuff, but definitely fun to play around with in PvP or PvE or whatever.
Like my favorite thing as a hunter is that the dodge with the Arc Strider that gives you your like if you melee something, you can then dodge and get your melee back, and then meleeing gives you your dodge back.
Completely forgot about that.
It's so much fun. It's like slow, but just really satisfying.
Yeah, like in strikes or whatever.
Yeah.
I remember discovering that during the D2 beta and being like, oh, they're definitely going to patch this. This is crazy.
This seems broken.
But no, it's in there.
That's
it's fun.
Great.
That's cool.
And then they buffed it during Arc Week, so it's the more like you stack it, the damage stacks.
Really?
Yeah. So you can stack it up to like 3 times maybe in one shot, like an orange bar.
See, during Arc Week, I was just focused on my new arc webs as a warlock.
Those are good too.
Those are insane.
Yeah.
It's crazy how much it, like in PvE, like going into a crowd and just watching that electricity just like arc between all of them.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Super satisfying. Super fun. Crown of Tempest too.
Mm-hmm.
That super can last so long.
Yeah. Well, let me ask you, Alec, how was your reset?
My reset was good. A little lighter on the Destiny side this past week, but I've continued to work on my Delirium. So that's been kind of, I mentioned that earlier, that's been my main pursuit, as well as trying to tick off some of the Tribute Hall stuff. I've been wearing my Leviathan gear where I have holes in my menagerie armor.
Yeah.
Because I think that counts, right? Am I about to hear on the air it doesn't count?
No. Anything opulent.
Okay. Thought so. So I've been doing that and trying to get the what's the name of that triumph? Something bandit or whatever.
For the Gambit?
Yeah, for earning
infamy. I can't remember, but I know which one you're talking about.
So it's been kind of a dual pursuit. That's kind of, I think Destiny's best when you're in that mode of like working on multiple things at once. I'm working on that progress bar while also getting closer to Delirium.
Right.
Feels good.
You're like stacking your to-dos.
Exactly. Eventually, I'm going to get around to grinding for Revoker because I'm at max level. So at this point, it's kind of like pinnacle weapons and tribute halls is the kind of stuff that I'm going to be working on. And hearing Arrow Knight talk about that sniper so much makes me want to get my hands on it.
Yeah, I haven't messed around with that yet, but I don't blame you. Well, I got Lumina this week, and man, that middle quest step, like just the percentage, oh my gosh, that was a grind.
Remind me what you had to do again.
You just had to do activities with it equipped, I think.
Oh, yeah.
Something like that. And I guess especially because no one else was doing it at the same time, because I think it stacks if you have other people. But
it does.
No one else was doing it because I got in on it late. And so it took forever and ever and ever.
I can't imagine. Like, I was jumping into Crucible matches and Menagerie. That was kind of I went back and forth because I don't know about you, but I have trouble doing the same activity over and over and over.
Yeah, I like to mix it up.
So I would kind of like go back and forth between Menagerie and PvP.
Mm-hmm.
And most everybody was using Rose.
Yeah.
I can't imagine how slow it was.
By the way, Rose is an amazing hand cannon.
It is really good, isn't it?
I love it.
I need to get in there tonight and print one out because you can put mods on it, right?
I don't know. Can you? I know if you pull it out of the vault when you get Lumina, it'll be like masterworked.
Out of the vault,
or not out of the vault, out of your collection.
Okay.
I haven't done that yet, but I'm sure you could probably put something on it.
I know you couldn't before.
I'll have to check.
But
I just know the version I was using, before I got Lumina, and I was getting hand cannon kills for something. Maybe it was for that quest, and I just started shooting people, and I was like, oh my god, I love this gun.
Yeah.
It felt great.
Yeah, it does feel good. It's got a great sound to it. It sounds beefy.
Yeah, it does. Feels hefty.
Yeah.
Like a hand cannon should.
So you got Lumina?
I got my Lumina. I don't know if I talked about this last week, but I got bad juju. I think I did, but you know what I didn't mention is how much I loved the mission.
Yes.
And I may have even talked about that last week, but it's like top of mind for me because it was so cool.
Have you done Flawless Solo yet?
I did, yeah. I did. That might have been why I'm thinking about it, because I did that the other night.
Very cool. I need to get in there and do. I died right at the beginning. Fell off a ledge. Like, just really dumb way to die. And I went through the rest of it, didn't die again. Like, it's not a super hard mission.
No. I died probably 3 times, like, and all of them were on accident.
Yeah, exactly. And then I finished it, and then I heard afterward, it was like, oh yeah, if you do solo flawless, you get a triumph. I was like, oh my gosh.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't mind playing it again. I just need to jump back in there.
Yeah, go do it.
It's a cool mission. That moment where, like, there's out of the darkness is like this platform, and as you jump on it, it's this flat kind of long platform. As you jump on it, you move forward, you realize you're standing on the sword of one of those like crazy gladiator statues.
That was
like,
cool.
Oh my gosh, there's so many moments like that.
I love the soundtrack, the score that they made for that end song, or the end fight.
Yes,
that's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah,
it was really cool.
I know. I wonder how we get some of the songs that have been released in like the subsequent content. Hopefully they'll be
like I think like when Forsaken came out, they released a soundtrack and it had stuff like the Whisper mission, and some of that other stuff that was on along with it. And I have to imagine they'll put all that stuff on one of the upcoming soundtracks.
Yeah, that would be awesome. I listen to Destiny music a lot.
Oh yeah, I'll jam it.
I use it for my Dungeons and Dragons campaigns.
Oh, good idea.
Dungeons and Dragons.
So yeah, I've been doing stuff like that, and I knocked out all of the moments of triumph that I could do. And now I'm just working on Tribute Hall things.
Nice.
Trying to get that hefty discount.
Yeah. I'm going to wait and buy stuff after I get the discount.
I mean, I've only done a handful of them to buy them, but I still have blown through like 2,000 legendary shards in the past 2 weeks.
Yeah, same.
It's crazy.
Same. Do you know any quick ways to get legendary shards? Other than Spider?
Tokens. If you've got tokens, go burn them up
I'm pretty spendy.
Good gear.
Pretty spendy. I've been spendy up until this point.
Simulation seeds, if you got a bunch of those laying around. Mercury's a good place to farm power potatoes.
I will say, when you and I were at Guardian Con, or Gaming Community Expo, as it were.
Oh, yes.
I was complaining to you that I never have more than like 10 enhancement cores.
Right.
Or power potatoes, potatoes, as you call them.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like you would be proud of me to know I have 56 in my inventory right now.
Wow, look at you. You get like a savings account now.
Yeah, working on
Just
that.
Budget them
working
out.
on that 401k that Shaq's offered me.
The Guardian retirement plan.
Yeah. Which character in the tower do you think would be the one to like approach us with a 401k or a insurance plan? Which one would it be Zavala? Would it be like Guardian?
I think it would be.
Oh
man.
We'll match 100% of your enhancement shards. Up to 2%.
It would have to be like the Cryptarch or something. Like just selling insurance,
What treasures do you bear? I will match those treasures. I don't think it...
Give me 10% of your engrams, Guardian. We'll put them in an account.
Yeah, I definitely would not give my savings account to Shax.
I think he'd be fine. He'd probably just like stick it in a chest,
Yeah. No, he would just like stick it in his sock drawer, like next to his bed.
Yeah.
He'd be like, oh yeah, the Guardian gave this to me. I should probably put it in a safe spot.
Surprisingly, Zavala would probably invest it very well, very conservatively, like a steady 8% growth every year would be, he'd probably be the safest bet. I think so.
Zavala. Yes, Zavala would.
Yeah.
Sorry, I was still thinking about Shax and whether or not he wears his helmet to bed.
Oh, Lord.
Nice.
Yep. What characters would do with our investment? All right. That was our reset.
So far we've covered SpongeBob and Destiny retirement plans. Solid content.
All right, we're going to do some Dirt Fam discourse, and we're going to wrap this up.
Heck yeah.
We've got an email I'm going to hold for next week because I want Arrow Knight to answer it with me. Or it was a Twitter in relation to an email. You'll find out. But first, we have a speak pipe, and she finally answers the challenge, Miss Dark Huntress, or now known as Venatrix Nox, I believe.
She changed her name?
Yes, she did. This is what she will tell us. I'm ruining the speak pipe. Hit it.
Hey fam! I know you've all been waiting on bated breath for this moment, but trouble yourselves no longer. Dark Huntress has arrived. Although I did change my name to Venatrix Nox, which is actually Dark Huntress in Latin. But first off, I do want to thank Davis for calling me out and apologize that it's taken me a couple weeks to answer your challenge. I want to thank Cyborg and Arrow for all the hard work that goes into putting together such an amazing podcast and being the heart of our little family. As someone who's been working 13-hour days as of late, I have no idea how you guys have the time or the energy to dedicate yourselves to the Derp Fam on top of your own families and careers. I'd like to send love to my fire team for always being there for me and helping support me through my recent knee surgery. I'd also like to call out 2 guardians who unfortunately have had an unexpected loss in their family recently, Forrest Crone and the Berg 012. I'd like to send you my love, support, and condolences, and say that you are 2 amazing people who we are lucky to have in the Derp Fam, and I'm happy to call part of my family. For my challenge, I'd like to call out a guardian who's always been willing to jump into the 0-hour mission with me to help me work on my catalyst, even though I am severely jumping challenged and they've had to do most of the work. So CK Shocker, you're up. Love you, fam. P.S. You need more hunters on the show. Bye.
Miss Huntress, thank you so much for answering the Speak Pipe challenge. And thank you for listening, for being part of the Derp Fam. If you don't know her, she's been around for a long time. Dedicated guardian, dedicated Derp Fam member. And
Dark Huntress was one of the first people I met in the community.
That's
actually.
awesome. And I know she's been recovering from a very serious knee surgery, and I hope that she's healing up well. She also gave out a shout out to a couple other long-standing Derp Fan members that went through recent loss in their family. I want to offer them our condolences and support in this time. I know what that is like. But the challenge goes, a CK Shocker sounds like a great guardian, and if you're listening, you have to answer the Speak Vibe challenge with one of your own and pass it on to somebody else.
Answer
the call.
Answer the challenge.
That's
CK
right.
Shocker.
Now, so you're like spoken like a true DM. That was DerpFam Discourse. If you want to leave a SpeakPipe yourself, you can go to speakpipe.com/destinyreset, or you can send us an email, destinyresetpodcast@gmail.com. If you want to ask us a question, get our feedback on something, give your feedback on something we've talked about on the show, like how certain Destiny characters would handle our 401k, let us know. Thanks a lot. We've got some shout outs to some Derp Fam patrons. You wanna take a shot at these, Alec?
Yeah. Just reading out the names here. We got Threat.
I think
Threat
it's
level.
Yep.
Midnight. Threat level midnight. That's a reference. I get that reference.
Wicked smart.
Branksy boy. Branksy boy and threat level midnight.
Yo, new patrons, thank you so much. This is your shout out. And if you would like to know what a patron is, go to patreon.com/destinyreset, where for as little as $1 a month, you can support the production budget of our show. And you get a few little perks. You get a shout out here on the show. You get your gamer tag posted on our website in perpetuity as a Derp Fan patron. And you get an invitation to our Discord channel just for our patrons and supporters. That is also a lifetime membership. And those funds go to supporting the continued production of this show and enable us to do it at a high level of quality that we know you expect. So we thank you, all of you that continue to support us month after month. It means so much to us and helps us do this. So thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Be a part of the show.
Well,
like Threat Level Midnight and Branksy Boy.
Alec, thanks for coming on this week, man.
Hey, I feel honored. I'm very thankful. Thanks for having me.
I think I forgot to mention, like, I do this every time the Arrow's on vacation. Like, I forget to say where he's at. I'm just like, yeah, he's not here. Arrow's on vacation this week. It's the middle of the summer, and he'll be back next episode. But Alec was here on short notice, might I add, to step in. Some very big shoes.
Happy to step in. Thanks for having me. Thank you to listeners for dealing with my antics.
You're a true friend. Where can people find you on the internet?
People can find me on the internet, on Twitter. Arrow with 3 R's and 3 W's, cast.
Beautiful.
So that's my handle on Twitter, and that's also my handle on Twitch. So if you want to follow there and hit that little bell, you'll get the notification when I finally go live again, which will be soon.
Now, you play the Destiny on the PC, right?
I play the Destiny on the PC, that's right.
Beautiful. If you want to
yep.
play with this guy, you can find him there.
Yes. Yeah, I'll shout out my Battle.net because we're about to move over to Steam, so who cares if I... Plus, I'd love to play with you guys. It's 1832, Arrow, 3 R's, 3 W's, 1832.
Perfect.
Play with me there. Also, check out Destiny Digest.
Oh, yeah.
Infinity's new show. Destiny_Digest on Twitter. Like I said, it's a brand new show. There's a lot of stuff, getting worked out with that. But
it's really
get your
cool.
5-minute little nugget of Destiny news every day.
Yeah. I love it. You should check it out. Go to their Twitter. They're on Libsyn, right?
Yep.
That's where you can hear it. It's like 5 to 10 minutes of daily Destiny news and commentary. hosted by Damfinity and this gentleman, which you can't go wrong there. All right. You can find me at CyborgSasquatch on Twitter. You can find my co-host, AER0KNIGHT, on Twitter as well. You can find us at Destiny Reset on Twitter, and finally on the web at DestinyResetPodcast.com. That's your source for all things DRP, including links to subscribe on your favorite podcast app of choice. Don't forget we're on Spotify if you want to check us there. We're also on Dash Radio 5 times a week. If you're listening on Dash, thanks for listening. Finally, if you want to join the community that we love to call the Derp Fam, go to discord.gg/Destiny Reset. That's our chat server. That's where we all hang out, and there's well over 1,000 Guardians, Derp Fam strong, that would love to hang out and talk about all the nerdy things with you. Am I right?
At least a row in a stadium, just full of amazing people.
At least one row. All right. I think that's a show. If you're listening on Apple Podcasts, thank you for your reviews. We've got one new review this week from Idle Apathy. Thank you so much. Listen, if you're on the Apple Podcasts, go leave us a review because it helps us get seen and heard by more listeners like you. And we recently broke 300 reviews. Amazing.
Woot woot.
Woot. Let's see it at 400. What's it going to take? All right, man. Thanks for hanging out.
Thank you.
This is your first appearance. I'm sure there will be many more.
I'd love it.
Until next reset, have fun playing Destiny 2 and take care, Guardians.